Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Eala wows Krejcikova with a blazing start. When a reigning Wimbledon champion stops to praise a young challenger after a tough match, it's more than sportsmanship. It's a glimpse of tennis's future. That's exactly what Barbara Krejcikova did after surviving a 3-set battle against the Philippines' rising star Alexandra Eala. 3-6, 6-2, 6-1, to reach the second round. But despite the win, it was Eala's fearless start that stole the spotlight. I'd like to start with giving credit to Alex. I mean, what the hell did she play in the first set? Krejcikova said with a laugh during her post-match interview. She was smashing the ball. She was cleaning the lines. Wow. The 20-year-old Eala came out swinging, taking the opening set with bold shot-making and calm court command that had fans wondering if an upset was in the making. Krejcikova eventually found her rhythm, leaning on experience and grit to turn the match around. Still, it was clear, Eala had made her mark. It's the next generation coming up, Krejcikova added. She's going to be really good in a couple of years. Big credit to her. This season, the young Filipina has beaten 3 former Grand Slam champs, Jelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys, and world number 1 Iga Swiatek, in a breakout Miami run. Just last week, she reached the Eastbourne final after winning 6 straight matches, narrowly losing in a 12-10 third-set tiebreak. Eala may not have won the match, but she walked off center court with global respect and the promise of a bright future. It was a warm July afternoon in Wimbledon, the kind where the air hums with electricity long before the match even begins. The crowd was already murmuring as they filled the green stands around court number 1, their programs flapping softly like moth wings. The draw had seemed almost cruel. Alexandra Eala, the 19-year-old wild card from the Philippines, facing Barbara Krejcikova, a former Grand Slam champion and master of the tactical game. But Eala, she had something that numbers couldn't measure. Fire, grit, that deep, glowing ember of belief that flickers in a young athlete standing on the edge of history. As the players warmed up, the contrast between them was striking. Krejcikova, composed and efficient, was going through the motions with surgical precision. She looked like a player who had done this 1,000 times, and she had. Eala, on the other hand, bounced lightly on her toes, ponytail swaying, eyes scanning the court with the hunger of a lioness who'd finally found her prey. The umpire called time. The first set, flames ignited. From the first point, it was clear. Eala hadn't come to survive. She had come to attack. She opened with a blistering cross-court forehand that left Krejcikova flat-footed, the crowd gasping in appreciation. Then came the aces. Then the drop shots. Eala was painting the lines with the nerve of a graffiti artist on the side of a moving train. Every shot screamed, "I belong here." Krejcikova, visibly rattled, blinked through the sunlight as Eala stormed to a 4-0 lead. The scoreboard ticked upward like a stock market graph in a miracle year. Filipinos in the crowd waved tiny flags and screamed her name, their voices trembling with a kind of hope too long postponed. Commentators in the box shook their heads. "This is a stunning start," one whispered. "Eala is playing like someone who doesn't realize who she's up against." But maybe that was her strength. Alex wasn't playing against Krejcikova the champion. She was playing against the net, the lines, the wind, the version of herself who used to doubt whether a Filipina could ever hold a racket this high up in the sky. Between points, ghosts and grounding. Between games, Alex breathed deeply. Coach wasn't here. No words to cling to now. Just her. The racket. The voice of her Lolo echoing in her memory. "You're not just playing for you, Anik. You carry our islands with every swing. Make them dance." And she was dancing. Footwork so light it seemed choreographed. Her swings sharp like poetry written in motion. In the stands, a little girl wearing a barong-inspired tennis dress clutched a handmade sign. "Alex, the islands are watching." Krejcikova's storm. But champions don't fall easily. After going down 1-5, Krejcikova started adjusting. Her slice became knife-sharp, her serve heavier, her eyes calculating. She pulled back 2 games, making it 5-3. The momentum was shifting. The crowd could feel it, like a sudden gust of wind right before rain. Eala stood at the baseline, bouncing the ball. She felt it too. The heaviness of expectation, the trembling in her wrist, the voice that hissed, "You're not ready." She closed her eyes, then opened them again. The next serve was perfect, a wide lefty kicker that drew Krejcikova out of position, followed by a crisp backhand winner down the line. Game. Set. 6-3. The stadium erupted. A sea of cheers, a sudden roar that made the grass itself vibrate. Alex didn't pump her fist. She just looked to the sky. One set up. A blazing start. But it was only the beginning. The locker room flashbacks. As they changed sides, a flicker of doubt returned. Alex remembered the dark days. The 5 a.m. practices. The years away from home. The questions from sponsors who weren't sure a Filipina could sell in the global game. The loneliness of being the only one. But those thoughts dissolved as she looked across the net. Krejcikova was now talking more to herself. Pointing. Reconstructing tactics in her mind. This was going to be war. The second set, resistance. Krejcikova, like any great champion, raised her level. Her first serve percentage soared. Her passing shots clipped the net and dropped in like whispered curses. She began dragging Eala into long rallies, stretching her, testing her patience. They traded breaks, then held, then broke again. At 4-4, it was a tug-of-war of willpower. 1 point felt like an hour. Krejcikova lunged for a drop volley, fell, got back up, and fired a lob. Eala sprinted backward and answered with a tweener that barely missed the line. Deuce, the umpire called. The crowd couldn't believe what they were witnessing. This was no longer a match. It was art. A duel between youth and experience. Fire and ice. Eventually, Krejcikova edged the set, 7-5. But even as the Czech pumped her fist, the applause seemed equally for Eala, for the storm she had become. Final set, the reckoning. In the third set, both players stood at the edge of themselves. Eala's legs were beginning to tighten. The sun was higher now, her throat dry, but her eyes stayed clear. She had learned by now that greatness isn't about how much fuel you have. It's about how long you can keep the flame alive. She started the third with another early break, the crowd leaping to its feet as she yelled, "Let's go!" in a voice that shook with defiance. But Krejcikova clawed back again. 2-2. 3-3. The rally stretched, sweat flying from foreheads with every brutal exchange. At 4-4, Alex held serve with a backhand that kissed the corner, so precisely that Krejcikova didn't even chase it. Then, at 5-4, with the chance to serve for the match, Eala tightened. 2 double faults. A netted forehand. Break. 5-5. But what happened next was what separated dreamers from legends. The heart of a warrior. With the game on a knife's edge, Alex found a new gear. She chased every ball like it owed her something. Her grunts turned primal. Her eyes fierce. She wasn't playing for a title. She was playing for her name. For her family. For every girl in the tropics who'd ever believed a racket could be a sword. She broke again. 6-5. Then, at 40-15, match point, the sun broke through the clouds. Eala tossed the ball high. Thwack. An ace down the tee. Game. Set. Match. Aftermath. Silence. Then roar. For a moment, there was only silence. Then the crowd exploded. Krejcikova crossed the net and embraced her, whispering something no one else could hear. Alex sat on her bench, staring ahead, as if she hadn't yet caught up with what she'd done. Reporters would call it the upset of the tournament. Commentators would replay that blazing first set for days. And back in the Philippines, the streets would echo with her name. But Alex wasn't thinking about any of that. She was thinking of the little girl in the crowd with the handmade sign. The islands were watching. And finally, they saw themselves in a champion.